Pathbook is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathbook qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with the relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathbook to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathbook.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Arthur Guiot from Upthrust, AI Marketing Senior Consultant with them. How are you doing today, Arthur?
I'm very good. Very long day, and looking forward to discuss a bit of marketing and AI with you.
Definitely interesting, right? You're an AI marketing senior consultant. We're an AI company, so interesting to have you on with us today.
It's a Tinder match, seems like.
Exactly. Thank you. Well, let's kick it off, right? I'm sure, Arthur, our listeners are tuning in and wondering what Upthrust is all about. So in your own words, tell us a little bit more.
It's a digital accelerator. It's mostly for SMEs and larger companies located in Belgium, in this case in Antwerp, and we help like large companies to implement growth marketing into their current marketing and customer support. So what's happening is that, you know, when you deal with insurances, finance, like you have a lot of corporate mindset and whole traditions, let's say, of doing marketing. And they have huge websites. And it's true that sometimes that's quite interesting to bring new ways of working more from the startup world, from the techie world, to shape things up. And that's what we do. And what happened definitely is that 2 years ago when ChatGPT has been released, directly, because we are used to do SEO, advertisement, conversion rate optimization, extra, and we started to realize that, wow, this is big. Like, it's definitely going to change the way we work. And let's say that I deep dive into it and started to replace every task that I used to do. And at a moment, I was like, okay, it writes just better copies than me. It makes better hook. It makes better newsletters. And then we started to automate this to scale, and that's where we are today.
That's awesome to hear, right? I think that's a nice way of AI helping everybody out, right? A little bit better every chance and just automatic. That's just great to have. And so that way our listeners can get a good understanding there, Arthur, of Upthrust. Then what would you say is that key problem that you guys like to solve for clients?
I would not say to say creativity or those kind of things, because when we go to marketing department, you have already good skills, good people quite techy as well. What I realize is that sometimes you have a lot of initiatives, but they have such a huge infrastructure, old IT department, so many roles and procedures to follow. And you will see that a lot of larger companies, they are kind of stuck. Yeah, so you have people who have ideas. They want to provide like different email flow for the customer. They want to create a chatbot extra, but you have such a huge infrastructure on the top that in the end nothing happens, and just about politics. What's interesting with the agency where I work is that definitely we come as actionals, and using actionable tools, third-party tools, extra, we can really try to experiment things in a really short time frame, 3 months, 4 months, to make a use case and come back to the CFO something like, hey, look, this is working. Using a chatbot to convert people on that specific e-com makes sense. We should go over it. And then all the politics start to be a bit smoother, I guess.
Okay, great to hear that from you. So then, is there a certain vertical segment that you guys like to go for? Is there an ideal ICP for Upthrust?
I would say it's really bad to say a segment based on revenue, but companies making more than 5 million And sometimes it's about like the maturity of the marketing department. What do I mean by that is that sometimes you have like large companies who make a lot of revenue, but marketing-wise, they are not super mature yet. They have not tried a lot of things. And we are going to thrive, but we'll thrive even more if they are already set up, everything is rolling, and they just want to scale and to grow. That's really where we thrive the most.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Great to hear that. And so what would you say then is a top client acquisition channel there for Upthrust?
Top based on CPL, based on return investment. What's the best according to? I will divide a bit. So in terms of acquisition, I would say that the most interesting from our side is we have a huge network. We belong to a group, and this group has like a lot of different agencies, and those agencies have their own contact. And it seems like that one agency doing a strategic consultancy is like a huge leads provider. Why? Because you often have people like taking key decision role there, and as soon they see an opportunity or we could experiment something directly, they're going to bring the opportunity to Upthrust. But once again, that's more like a network and a word of mouth. What I could say is that acquisition channel webinars works a lot. We do one webinar, I guess, every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like this. What's super interesting about webinars is that we have quite a lot of senior consultants, so they could give a webinar with 1 hour preparation, shows the time to make the slide, and we are quite good with advertisement. So within 1 month, we have all ads for the webinar, we have all slide deck, and we just roll. And because we learn to automate all sequence like this, usually we often end up with a CPL of like 20 euros for B2B, and out of 400, 500 participants, we might do like, I don't know, 50, 100,000 euros of deals, something like this. So it's not negligible. Outside the webinars and LinkedIn ads, I would say that we have an academy as well. So what does it do exactly? Is that you propose like marketers to learn about growth marketing and latest tools like Pathmark, for example, Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, etc. And what's happening is that you will have companies who are going to send us their employees to train them. But the thing is that the employees will often realize that they cannot do it alone. Like they need okay, I really want to implement this Google Ads campaign extra. How can I do? Or do I need to convince, my manager? And then they bring the manager in the conversation. And actually, it's quite a big pipeline for us as well.
Okay, all right. Also, I'm talking about, some campaigns that drive traffic. What role would the website then, in this case, for our listeners to check you guys out, they could check you out at upthrust.eu. What role would the website play then for client acquisition?
And I would be a bad monk segmentation there, but our website is not on point at the moment. We have this quote in French which says that the shoemaker is the child of the shoemaker is always the cheapest shoes, and I guess the same for us. What does it mean? It means that we haven't been updated a website for like 2 years or something. That's something that should be updated at least every 2 months. So what's happening is that we use a lot of landing pages. We use a program called Unbounce. So every new webinar, every new campaigns goes to one specific landing page. So in the end, we don't use that much our website. We use mostly LPs, which is going to be totally customized based on the campaign that we are running.
Okay, all right. So then is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website lead generation?
Regarding advertisement or regarding conversion rate on LinkedIn?
Advertising.
Okay. For B2B, B2C, e-com, because it might totally differ.
Ever allow, right? Yeah, I mean, let's go with B2B, right? I think that's one of the hardest. So
So what we have seen, and this is sometimes counterintuitive, is that when you're dealing with advertisement, you have the impression, okay, this channel goes for that type of audience, so I will stick with it. Typically, you work in insurance and you're looking for other brokers. You will think, okay, brokers are on LinkedIn, so I will do advertisement on LinkedIn. Or you will do YouTube advertisement, targeting channels where only brokers would subscribe. By experience, it seems that those kind of targeting actually first are super expensive in Europe, at least Europe, US. And second, like the conversion rate, CTR, is super, super low. Why? Because if you start doing like one specific campaign on LinkedIn, targeting only the brokers of Brussels, of Paris or whatsoever, you will realize that your cost per thousand of impression is super, super high. Plus, those brokers, when they arrive on LinkedIn, networking or something, they don't care about your solution. So the probability for them to click extra is quite low. Compare with, channels who are a bit more like, let's say, for popular, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify ads. Even if it seems quite weird, like you will see that the conversion rate there on the channels are still super high. And that by the way you do your videos, the way you do your content, and the way you write your copyrights, it's already the biggest filter. If you start your copyright like, hey, brokers, are you interested in this insurance and those kind of things? And then your video is just a short of 20 seconds showing like why this insurance is cool, and quickly in 10 seconds, and the rest of 10 seconds just how to get there. It seems that it has the highest conversion value for B2B, even if it's counterintuitive. Another thing that I can add, because we are doing it a lot at Upthrust, is user-generated content. Typically, I will take my phone. Hello, I'm a broker working in BlackRock. I really like what I'm doing. And if you need any financial insurances, check out on this link. They're amazing. Cheers, guys. Boom, 15 seconds. And what's important is that the person making the video is the most natural as possible. So for example, here I'm in my apartment. It seems legit. You have a disordered kitchen, someone working hard and this kind of things. And so people can relate. And others brokers can relate. And if they can relate, they feel that's for them. And if they feel it's for them, you get more interest and sometimes more clicks and conversions as well.
Definitely. Okay, awesome to hear that. And well, let's switch gears a little bit then, Arthur, and let's talk about you as a leader. I mean, like you've been mentioning, right? You are the AI marketing consultant there for Upthrust. What are some key tasks you like to focus on your day-to-day work?
It's interesting. So, as a marketer, we use a lot of different tools. We are connected all the time. It can be on Teams, Slack, Discord, like you get information everywhere. And something that I do every morning, after writing all the to-dos, I will spend like 1 hour or something like this to just write in advance very, very long prompts. So I read it myself. Let's take the example of this podcast. At 8 a.m., I will start, okay, I need to create a script for this podcast because I want my podcast to be structured extra. 8.10, what I will do, totally offline, no Wi-Fi, on a simple Word document. I will spend time to write precisely a prompt. What do I need for that script? Like, okay, I want this script to be structured like this. I want to say this. I want this. I want this. And I create really like a large prompt, sometimes like 1,000 characters or something. And I do that for every of my tasks. So if I have a task like prepare this meeting, boom, I've got a prompt for preparing this meeting. If I have a task like create copies for that client, I will have the prompt for this client. Next step, you can imagine, instead of just using ChatGPT, I have a tool which is going to open like 5 different language models. And I'm just going to prompt. And then it sounds like this. So once you have like 5 or 6 different outputs, you take the best and you start the task. So you have the output as a text, sometimes as a PowerPoint, sometimes it's an image, extra. And you start the task like, okay, my script, this is the output that I would like for my script. Now I will put that on a Google Sheet, or I would put that on email, I will send it to you, extra. And it's stupid, but working like this really improved my productivity of like 10%, 20% every day. It's a little trick for everybody.
Yeah, definitely some great there. All right, awesome. And well, let's jump into our next section then here, Arthur, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for them?
Let's go.
All right, awesome. First up then, Arthur, is what is the last book that you read?
Sorry?
What is the last book that you read?
The last book that I'm reading right now, Productivity Ninja. So what is it about? There is David Allen, like how to get things done. And it's like a new version of it, like more focus on tech and update it in 2024, let's say.
Okay, great read there for our listeners. Next up then is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Sustainability. I know it's weird, but deep inside, I'm still green-minded, or at least I want my kids to survive this. And as a marketer, sometimes we feel ashamed of what we are doing. What do we mean? That's that spending 10,000 euros on Facebook ads, that's 5 planes, Chicago, Paris. Just prompting on ChatGPT, I don't have the numbers, so don't fact check this, but I think it's like 5 hours of electricity, something like this. And it's true that you have the impression that the more you work, actually, the more impact it has on the environment. And we're crazy if we find a way to reduce or to have free energy for that.
Okay, awesome. Great to hear that. And well, lastly, Arthur, I mean, you have a lot of experience already in the marketing world, but what is that one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
Document everything that you experiment. It's something that I lost, unfortunately, with time. But I recently find back my Pinterest board, and there I had like 50 different boards, like interior design ideas, new keyboards ideas, copywriting ideas, I think. And I was so impressed by how I keep everything structured and everything. And right now I'm reaching my 8 years as a consultant. And I believe that in 8 years, every piece of idea, every new cool link or image that I had a kind of way to structure them and find them back. I would have such an amazing database. So yeah, I would have still restart there.
Definitely. All right. Some great advice there for the ones that are starting, right? Awesome, Arthur. Hey, well, Arthur, it's been a pleasure to have had you on our show today. But before we do end, I do want to give you the last word. Say someone forgets everything about the interview today. What is that one thing they should remember about Upthrust?
AI is not going to replace your job. Growth marketing is awesome. And don't forget, if it doesn't convert, that's not the fault of the users. It's certainly yours.
Definitely important. All right. Awesome. Hey, well, Arthur, do want to thank you for being on with us today. To our listeners, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I'm looking forward to our next episode at PathMonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Arthur.
Ciao. Good evening, everybody.